Thanks once again for joining us for the 2016 Hour Clash of the Titans presented by Ballhockey.com. We are at the Ballhockey.com Athletic Center, Melbourne Street in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. This is the second of two semifinals in the orange, appropriately named Toronto Orangemen. In the black with red trimming, the Niagara Rebels, the hometown faves. As the Rebels throw the ball in deep, one of the Barbuses is there trying to collect that ball. Quickly now, the Rebels looking to generate a scoring opportunity. That shot hits a foot, ends up in the corner. Looking to get the ball in front of the net. They do just briefly. Down to 88. It's Josh Barbus with one hand on his stick. Is able to work a bit of a wraparound and for good measure just gives a shove to the defender for the Orangemen, number 39. Quick change here, just 27 seconds in. The Niagara Rebels sending 5 new guys over the boards. Try and do my best here to work in some of the names of the Toronto Orangemen. Many of the players of the Niagara Rebels familiar to myself, including number 91, Daniel Satachi, taking the draw here for the Niagara Rebels. He's up against 21, I believe, for the Orangemen. Quick shot off the draw. There's another scoring opportunity for the Niagara Rebels. It just sails wide. Orangemen now touching the ball for what seems to be the first time this game. 21 loses his balance, trying to turn the corner. Satachi with a smart play up to the half boards. Rebels now looking to generate something. 71, they're letting him run, so he does. 46 now works to his forehand. Deft little pass. 71. Saw the goaltender reaching out for the poke check, so tried to catch him short side. And right idea, just poor execution on that attempt. A full-on hit there by the Orangemen. Again, this ball hockey has been rough all weekend. Not dirty here on Sunday, just rough. Rough and tough ball hockey. And we'll see a lot of it here this afternoon. But again, the referees have done a tremendous job in making sure the players understand where the line is and to not cross it. Pass back to the point for the Orangemen. Just a little too hard. So while they make a change, a defenseman collects the ball, walks it out now in front of his own zone. Over to the near side to number 57. Spins away from a check. The Rebels, though, throw it down. It's 88 for the Orangemen. Circling, looking for something. That's Chris Creeder, number 88. Over to 68 now in front for the Orangemen. Their first shot, their first scoring opportunity. Another ball in front. Goaltender trying to find it. The Orangemen do. 68 walking in. Sharp angle shot. Tender steers that aside. It's Camposano in net. No stranger to championship ball hockey himself, the goaltender for the Niagara Rebels. One of the best in the game. Looking to backstop his team to a championship here. Semi-final win, first off. That long shot just went off the side of the net. Rebels controlling much of the play here in the opening couple of minutes. Force a turnover now with their tenacious forecheck. That backhand off bound. Just sailed by the open net and wide. Rebels still with the ball. As the goaltender just reaches out and decides to slow things down. Already some pushing and shoving between these two teams. Paul Zarnett is the goaltender for the Toronto Orangemen. Love those pads. A lot of black, not a lot of stitching, not a lot of design. Referees decide to, again, just let the players understand where the line is, and so sends both of them off for 2 minutes. So 4-on-4 hockey with 9:14 to go in the first. Don't really have an indication as to whether or not 4-on-4 hockey would favor one team or the other. 97 for the Orangemen, dumps that ball in deep. Orangemen get it again. It's 88, snapping a sharp angle shot. The Rebels come away with it now, and fast. There's a shot on the run. Goaltender got a piece of it. Comes around the side of the net now. Looks like he got himself at least enough of an angle to create a scoring chance. Goaltender stopped that. Another chance there for the Rebels. And the Orangemen send it all the way down into the Rebels' territory. Rebels now just finishing up while they control the ball behind their own zone, behind their own net, rather. John Adamau, number 24, trying to start the rush there for the Niagara Rebels. His first pass got intercepted, but he's picked it up again here. I apologize, that's 74, not 24. Troy Miner there, wearing the C for the Rebels. Very good ball hockey player, very quick, lots of stamina. Don't imagine the second game of the day or fifth game of the weekend is going to affect his ability on the floor. Some of these players, though, you never know, might be feeling it a little bit. Here as we stretch into the afternoon of a Sunday, 14 teams began their quest on Friday. Quest for the top prize of $8,400. That will be decided later this afternoon. Midnight Express already through to the finals, beating the Pittsburgh Gods in overtime. Who will join them? The Orangemen here, almost springing themselves for a breakaway, but that pass just a little too ambitious, a little too far. As the Rebels change, both players out of the penalty box, so we're back to 5-on-5 ball hockey. It's Satachi now, leaving it for 46, who overran it a bit. Dumps it into the corner now. It's Matthew David. Up to the Orangemen. 39 for the Orangemen. Thinks about shooting. Hits his own player in the leg, and that ends up on the stick of David. A clearing attempt fanned on by the Orangemen as the Rebels go D to D. On the left point now, soft backhander into the middle. Working a triangle as it's back at the right point. Trying to find an open man, but all of his teammates seem to be marked. The Orangemen now getting a chance of their own. On the backhand was 27. That shot got deflected, just sailed wide. .27 to Pronry. Firing from long range as the Rebels counter with number 9, showing some great wheels and determination, running that ball down all around the floor, and he's got it again, number 9. Fakes the shot, working backwards now, waits for a teammate to come on, and he does. Now he decides to shoot. It hits a body and ends up in the near corner. It's 88 again for the Orangemen. He finds 21 up the near boards. The Orangemen pressing here down low. In the near corner, 68 again, trying to work his way towards the net. Can't find any room. Falls to the ground and ends up giving the ball to the Rebels. 3-on-3 here. That backhand pass amounts to a turnover. 74 is winding. He fires. That just goes wide. Goaltender doesn't know where the ball is. Finds it in time to just see that shot sail wide. The Orangemen now look at a breakout. Defenseman fires it to the open wing, but no teammate there. 4:58 to go here in the first period. Not a goal to speak of. Semifinals 2016 Bauer Clash of the Titans, presented by Ballhockey.com. The loser here will still be in the money, $1,400, so $400 in the black after their entry fee of $1,000. The winner goes on to the finals, where there is more than $11,000 up for grabs. More than 8 to the winner, just shy of 3 to the second place finisher. $14,000 prize pool in all, as that backhand just sails over the net. Wasn't hard, but it was almost well enough placed to score the first goal here in this semifinal. As 72 just got his stick up there, and unintentional. Number 12 there was down low to the ground as he was trying to clear that ball out, and 72 just tried to lift his stick, I believe, and missed, and caught him with the tip of his blade up in the face. 12 checking for blood, don't think it's there. Gets up, apologizes. Nothing intentional on either side, but he caught him. He knows he caught him. Danny Pacheco. Danny Pacheco, number 12 for the Toronto Orangemen. Taking that one in the grill. All set to go here. The Orangemen come away with the ball after that draw. 22 whacks it out of midair to start the rush for the Rebels. They nearly get it. And now the tenacious forecheck pays off. Threw a ball in the direction of the net. Barbas was nearly there for a rebound or a deflection, and it's Barbas in the far corner. Barbas with the ball. Spins, shoots. Paul Zarnett, the goaltender, is able to cover that. Handled the shot quite easily with his paddle down. For the Rebels, we've got 64, that's Jesse Barbas. 27 is Mike Barbas. 88, Josh Barbas. We've got Barbas up front for the Niagara Rebels. The Orangemen. The Orangemen now just settle things behind their own net to set up the breakout, and the breakout seemed to be nothing more than trying to find a streaking 19 running north-south across the far blue line. But pass was a little too far in front of him, and so went the length of the floor. Orangemen now will have to once again try and work out of their own zone. Say Rebels so far with the majority of the play, but this game's still early, and so far scoreless. Daniel Satachi, 91, set to take the draw here for the Rebels. The Orangemen get the ball behind their own net. Chris Creeder, number 88, directing things, trying to get his men in the neutral zone to open up for him. Fires one around, and that's going to be icing. Seemed to be a little confusion there for the Toronto Orangemen. Behind the net, they seemed quite deliberate in what it was they were trying to do, and that was run a breakout that they seemingly had run in the past. They've practiced, and everybody was on board, but down in the neutral zone, two forwards really weren't doing a great job of finding some open floor. There was open floor there, but couldn't find it. And, well, we'll start up again and see if the Orangemen can get out of their own zone. Two men on Satachi off that draw. The Orangemen are able to clear their zone. Throw it to the far boards. But the Rebels quickly are on that. Rebels looking to move forward. Over to the far side now. Back to their defenseman, 58 behind the net. That's Evan Huckalo. Over this side to 9. That's another Barbas. Creeder coming away with it. That's 88 for the Orangemen. Goes tape to tape with his winger on the far side, 19. Makes a move through the neutral zone. Then fires a wrister. Just goes high and wide. Rebels now with 3 strong. This is a 3-on-2 rush. Satachi drops, 46 to the middle. Tried to find 71 on the far side. And now all of a sudden 19's got a breakaway for the Orangemen. And Cumpy with a great blocker save. Best scoring chance thus far for either team, and it comes to the Orangemen. Breakaway there for number 19, Ricardo Perez. Got off a decent shot, but Cumpy stood tall with the blocker to keep this thing all tied up at 0. It's Aaron Campasano, the goaltender, affectionately known as Cumpy. #21, Terry Roach, under center for the Orangemen. Loses the draw as the Rebels control now in the near corner. Using his legs now, 74. Clears his own zone, up over the red line. Finds an open man. That shot right off the mask of the goaltender. Harmless backhander to the net. And Zarnett covers up. Quick shot there. Don't know whether Zarnett saw it, but I know he felt it as the shot went right off his mask. The rebound dangerously back in front, but the Niagara Rebels unable to capitalize on what was a scoring opportunity there. Still early, however. We've played just over 10 minutes of the opening period. 3 12-minute periods is what will be played. If it ends up at a tie, we'll go to overtime as the first semifinal did. But just over a minute into that semifinal, Matt Tremblack scored for Midnight Express, and the Midnight Express are awaiting the winner of in the championship to be played about half an hour, 45 minutes after the conclusion of this game. Terry Roach, centerman for the Toronto Orangemen. He's up against Steve Alvo, centerman for the Rebels. Orangemen win the draw, throw it the length of the floor. That'll draw a whistle. And with $1:38 to go here in the first period, face off now to the left of Zarnett. Good crowds here today on Championship Sunday at the Ballhockey Athletic Center in St. Catharines.
Fair enough.
Beautiful play there by Troy Marner on the back end to glove that to his teammate, yet still keep the ball inside the blue line. You can make a glove pass as long as both the pass and the reception of the pass occur on your defensive side of the blue line. So great play by Miner, but shake it up a little bit, so went off. Offside is the call by the referee as Roach is in there too deep. Now looking to clear the zone as the Rebels try and start a rush of their own. Not a good one, however, and the Orangemen capitalize. Ball now for 22 is working hard. Moves it into 27. On the near boards. Oh, and just as the Toronto Orangemen thought they had scored, the referee signals a penalty. I think signaling a penalty on the play. Is that the call on the floor? Not exactly sure as to the ruling. Looks like there's going to be a penalty on both sides here, perhaps. Maybe a penalty on both sides, not quite sure. Trying to read the referee's body language as to what the call is. And yeah, sure enough, 74 is making his way to the box. Four-on-four hockey. 43 seconds to go here in a scoreless first period. Second time we played 4-on-4 so far in this game. As that shot gets deflected. So we'll have a face-off down in the Rebel zone. After every whistle, some of the players just explaining pleasantries with players on the opposing team. Probably asking them who they think is going to win the Grey Cup. Or maybe not. The Rebels here, out of their own zone. 4-on-4. To the far side now. 89 was lugging it up. A poke check from the Orangemen defense. The Orangemen now leading a charge, but led the charge right behind the net. 2-on-2 the other way for the Rebels. 89 winds. That's offside. And with no time on the clock, the first period comes to an end. And it is 0-0. I would have to say that the Niagara Rebels seem to have a majority of the possession. They definitely had a majority of the scoring chances, but the best scoring chance of the period actually went the way of the Toronto Orangemen. With a breakaway with about 4 or 5 minutes to go in the first period, and a good shot that Cumpy was able to stop with his blocker. Aaron Compasano, the goaltender, has a donut up there, as does Paul Zarnett for the Toronto Orangemen. 0-0 after 12 minutes of play. Both these teams trying desperately to win. So close to the money, so close to a big payday, they can taste it. Both teams talking over strategy here. Don't know what I would change, but the coaches probably see something that I don't. Hard-fought first period. If anything, I would say for the Orangemen, they have to get more balls on Cumpy. He's a great goaltender, and I don't know if they got 3 or 4 shots on him that period. Maybe I'm giving the Rebels too much credit. Maybe the first period wasn't as dominant as I'm making it sound, but I did think they had the majority of the play. The only thing that matters, though, is the number up on the scoreboard, and you will see that it is 0 aside as the goaltenders take their position between the pipes. Zarnett to my right, Cumpy to my left, Rebels in black with red trim, the Orangemen appropriately in the orange jerseys with black and white trim. And we're ready to go. 2 periods here to decide who's going on to the finals and who will walk away as a semifinal loser with $1,400. Have to come up with a better way of saying that. Maybe in a tie for third place. Tying for third nets you $1,400, which actually puts these team $400 in the black. Brian Broly, chief here at Ballhockey.com. The Titans at $1,000 for the entry fee. And every penny of that entry pool goes back into the prize pool. So 14 teams at $1,000 means $14,000 is up for grabs here on Championship Sunday. It's split 60, 20, 10, 10. So again, whoever loses the semifinal will win 10% or $1,400. As the Orangemen have control, playing some 4-on-4 hockey here for about another minute to open the second period. Orangemen with a bit of an opportunity, bit of space. That's right off the melon of Cumpy. As 16 fired that high. Looked like it was going on net. Bradbury is number 16. There's a clapper that hit the Rebels defender in front. Shakes it off. Barbas missed that pass. And now the Orangemen have it. Not in a rush to force the issue. They end up knifing it down the zone. 27 now is a Barbas. It's Mike Barbas. Throws it down low for 72. Tries to make something happen and find Barbas. Now it's to the point. 19 winds, fires. Nice save, Zarnett. Both goalies yet to be beaten. 0-0. You see it up there on the score clock. 72 working hard here for the Rebels to no avail. Now the Rebels have it back. Over to 72. He winds and fires. Great save by Zarnett. I thought 72 might have a little more net to look at, but Zarnett came across very fast in the butterfly and took the angle away. Orangeman defender without a stick just briefly. Tricky change there as he's shoved to the ice. That's going to bring about a penalty. Referee makes a call on that play. Now, we have seen a lot of body contact. I think what made that a little different was the no attempt by the defender for the Orangemen to play the ball. He just reached out with his arms and shoved the player to the ground. We've seen harder hits, yet at the same time, more often than not, it coincides with some sort of play on the ball. That was just a play on the body. Referee said, that's a 2-minute penalty, my son. And so a power play, an all-important one for the Niagara Rebels. 10:01 to go in the second period. Rebels on a 5-on-4 advantage for 2 minutes. 93 winds, fires, does not clear the zone. 22 with no pressure on the back point. Plays catch with his winger. Now with his partner, Troy Minor. Over to this side to 71. Thinks about shooting, winds, does. High and wide, nearly batted out of the air off the backboards. Well, it was batted out of the air, just not batted into the net. Troy Minor wearing the C once again, leads the rush for the Rebels. Finds his winger coming in off the off wing, tries short side, off the side of the net. Rebels still have it on the PP. Quickly, down low. Rebels outnumber the Orangemen right now down low. Back to the point, Minor now. Over to 22. Setting up in the umbrella, the Rebels back and forth. Waiting for somebody to take a shot, put something towards the net. Miner now thinking about it, sends it back. Right-hand shot, winds, fires. That's blocked. No daylight there on that wind and fire. Kuzmarski has it, 71. Back to the point, 22 fires, goes wide. Miner now takes a one-timer, wastes no time. Rebels working an effective power play, but 40 seconds to go in it. And finally, the Orangemen get the ball. They throw it down. 30 seconds to go in the man advantage. 8:01 is when we'll resume 5-on-5 ball hockey. Back to 22. Over to Kuzmarski. His shot gets blocked. He's the first on it, though. Not for long. The Orangemen get it. And now send it the length. But 15 seconds to go in the man advantage. Rebels looking to see if they can get one more scoring chance. Changing their personnel. They gain the line. It's Barbas on the far side. Tries a shot short side. 22 with it. Back to the near side. 83 over to Miner. Miner fires. Goaltender didn't know where it was. That hit something in front of the net and ended up in the mesh. The Orangemen, bending but not breaking, they're able to kill off that man advantage. Let's see if that gives them a bit of an emotional boost. They need something here. 7:52 to go in the second period. Did a very good job at keeping the Niagara Rebels off the scoreboard, keeping this thing at 0-0. They're not generating many scoring opportunities for themselves. Zarnett, the goaltender, just pulling a strap there in his crease. Imagine he's a little tired after that power play. Maybe probably 5 or 6 stops. Everybody catching their breath and about ready to resume here. Zarnett signals that he's good to go, and so are we. High snapshot from the red line. Compy handles that no problem. 74 sitting up in his own zone. Now the Rebels are away with it. Marcus Lagerstrom tries to dump it in. Fans on that attempt. 15 winds and fires. That deflects wide. The Orangemen clear the zone. 27 tried a little toe drag to get by his defenseman, but was dispossessed. As were the Rebels. A couple of turnovers here. The Orangemen find themselves with the ball. Just long enough, though, to throw it the length of the floor and get a change. Now, the Orangemen, they did have a forward behind the defense for the Rebels. However, the ball didn't get there. Orangemen now mounting a bit of an attack. And it's number 9 for the Niagara Rebels that throws that softly into the bench of the Orangemen. 6:53 to go in the second period. Coming up to the midway point of this game, still 0-0. The Orangemen have 18 under center for this draw. It's Joe Pontes. He wins the draw, and that's a goal! Right off the draw, the ball just kind of sprung free to the left winger, who spun and shot. And I don't know what hole it found on Compy, maybe between the legs, but that's exactly what the Toronto Orangemen needed at this moment in time. It's exactly what they needed. Not many scoring opportunities, but they find themselves ahead 1-0. Here's another scoring chance for the Orangemen. Maybe killing off that penalty did give them a bit of a spark. A little more hop in the step now for the Orangemen, who are not one of the top seeds coming into the weekend. And let's take a look now at that goal. You see the draw here. The ball spins, fires, and scores. 81 looks like it just went either beyond the right pad or under the pad of Aaron Compy. And just like that, surprisingly so, the Toronto Orangemen find themselves up on the Niagara Rebels 1-0. Draw won by the Rebels. Icing is waved off. The Rebels are first on it. Just when everything seemed to be going the Rebels' way, a lucky bounce for the Toronto Orangemen. Maybe not a lucky bounce, just a bounce goes their way. And it's 1-0. And there's a bounce that didn't go for the Niagara Rebels. Didn't go their way. A bit of a scoring opportunity in front. A lot of bodies there. Zarnett was down doing what he could do to take away the bottom half of the net, but a lot of daylight up top, but just wasn't to be for the Niagara Rebels. So they'll reset just to the right of the Orangemen goaltender. Satachi to take the draw. Looks like he's trying to win it here to the short side. Get Kuzmarski a shot, 71. There's Kuzmarski with the shot, just goes wide. Hard to say whether or not Zarnett got a piece of it. Battle along the half boards now, and the Rebels walk away with it. Another shot. Sharp angle shot. Zarnett held his ground. Referee signals that ball stayed in. Good legs by Troy Miner. As the Rebels cycle the ball, it's Kuzmarski. Over to Satachi. Satachi to look at a rollout on his forehand. Instead, works the ball behind the net. Now Barbas look at a roll. Satachi. Sorry, that's Matthew David, number 46. So many Barbases on this team, you almost can't go wrong by calling one of their names. It's Troy Miner battling 19 of the Orangemen for the ball. It's 19 now, with the ball. He throws it in the direction of the net. Sails by everyone. Kuzmarski now comes away with it. Thinks about shooting. Instead, throws it wide. Kuzmarski crashes the net. And a penalty is coming up to the Toronto Orangemen. Again, for shoving a player to the ground. All of that, though, happened just as Kuzmarski was breaking in all alone on the backhand, did have some defensive pressure on the forehand, and was almost able to slide that under a falling Zarnett. But kudos to Zarnett for keeping the ball in his pads, keeping the ball under him. But once again, they'll be calling on his number, the number 30, Paul Zarnett, to kill off another 2 minutes. It's going to be a 2-minute power play here for the Niagara Rebels. Just trying to get things sorted out. We've got Stevie Alvo taking the draw, number 15, for the Niagara Rebels. Satachi playing the point here, number 91. Look for Satachi to quarterback things a little bit. Back to the point. Rebels have been setting up an umbrella. 74 faking the shot. Now down to Alvo. Back to Satachi. Back to Alvo. Below the goal line here for the Rebels. Back to Alvo on the half board. On his forehand. Huckalo roughing things up in front. There's a shot by Alvo. Gets blocked. Satachi fakes the shot. Passes it over. Orangeman defense doing a great job of clearing the front of the net and also taking away the lanes. Sharp angle here. 1-2 saves by Zarnett. Make it 3. As the net gets shoved right off. Face-off will likely stay down low. But 1-2-3 saves there in succession for Zarnett. Still nothing to score for the efforts, nothing to show for the efforts for the Niagara Rebels, who have still yet to score in this game. 4:02 to go in the second period. About another minute of power play for the Niagara Rebels. This would be their third power play, obviously 0 for 2 thus far. However, lots of control, lots of scoring opportunities, lots of shots. But the Orangemen thus far just throwing up a wall. They've had about 2 scoring opportunities themselves, have the Orangemen, and they scored on one of them, and that's how we find ourselves here. 1-0. Just past the 4-minute to play mark in the second period. Kuzmarski back on the point, back to Kuzmarski, 71. Barbas over to the far side. He's got a right shot there. Orangemen doing a good job of keeping the Rebels on the perimeter. Over to Kuzmarski. He likes to shoot. Trying to find a lane. Now to Barbas. He fakes the shot. Kuzmarski back across. And right from the Alex Ovechkin spot, 22 took a good shot. And Zarnett stopped that one as well. Net appears to be a little askew down there. The referee letting things play on. There's a shot by Kuzmarski, point blank. Another shot. Zarnett makes another couple of saves. As more and more of this play is down in the Orangemen zone. Once again, the net comes off. I think the referee giving the Orangemen a warning, saying, look, guys, this net comes off a little too easy the next time. You might find yourself serving another 2-minute minor. Although I'm reading lips. Didn't hear him say that, but I imagine that was part of the conversation. As Zarnett, thought it was Zarnett there pulling a strap, slowing things down, but it's his defender just doing up his shoelace there. Getting his goaltender but his teammates a bit of a breather. 46, Matthew David, lining up to take this draw. He's got Kuzmarski on the off wing on the right side, 71. And we're back underway. Quick turnaround shot off the draw. Just goes wide. Similar in fashion to the way the Orangemen scored their goal. There's a snapshot from the far pole. Hits a body in front. The Orangemen send it the length of the floor. As the penalized player just gets ready to come back on the floor, and he does now for the Orangemen. So we're back 5 aside, and Zarnett just holds on to that bouncing ball. And we'll just reset here. Back to 5-on-5 hockey in the second of 2 semifinals. Midnight Express won the first. They're awaiting the winner of this semifinal. The Niagara Rebels are in black with red trim. The Toronto Orangemen are wearing the orange jerseys with black and white trim. The Orangemen up 1-0 thus far. While they lead on the scoreboard, I don't think they lead in possession or scoring chances, but that's neither here nor there. Scoreboard is where it matters, and right now the Niagara Rebels are just looking to put one up there. As 88 tries to force his way to the net. Ball just out of the reach of goaltender Zarnett. 68 for the Orangemen. Shoves his player from behind, immediately complains to the referee who didn't even have his arm up. That's a guilty conscience. 68 shoving his player again. Giving another shove, finishing him off. Still, though, the Rebels get the ball out. Hard on it here. 88 plays the body to get the ball, but the Orangemen once again clear. .88, that's Creeder with the ball as the Rebels change. Orangemen calling for too many men, but it was just 5. Rebels did a good job there of making sure they didn't have 6 guys on the floor. Defender there, 16, unable to keep that ball in the zone. And so the Rebels will set up behind their own zone, and the Orangemen likely will allow them to do so. And they have. Almost a 2-1-2 forecheck here for the Orangemen. Rebels tried to find a seam. They found the wrong one as the ball ends up on the stick of the Orangemen defenseman. 21 in hard after the ball now for the Orangemen, who have turned over the ball and just dump it now into the corner for the Rebels. It's 15 for the Rebels, up to number 24. That's Lagerstrom. Good wheels on Lagerstrom, has the ball now. Little sauce pass. That was intercepted, and the Orangemen sent it down the floor. 45 seconds now left in the second period. That pass gets intercepted. Offside by the Orangemen on the change, but doesn't really matter. The Rebels have the ball. Over to the near side, it's Minor. It's Matthew David now, 46 with the ball. Tried to make a move. That was thwarted. 19 for the Orangemen with the ball. They make a risky change of their own before dumping it deep. Offside signals the referee, and so the Rebels bought themselves a little bit of time. About 10 seconds to go here in the second period. Let's see if the Rebels can get something at the net. And hit a body. And The Orangemen grab it, and they're content to just watch the last few seconds wind off the clock here to bring the second period to a close. 1-0 after 2 periods of play. Niagara Rebels in the black, Toronto Orangemen in the orange. After the round robin, 4 teams got an automatic bye to the quarterfinals this morning. The Niagara Rebels were one of those 4. Meanwhile, 8 other teams, positions 5 through 12, all had to play a 1-game elimination late last night. The Orangemen played that elimination game. As such, they were the underdogs coming into their semifinal matchup against the top-ranked Lloydminster Americans. They pulled off the upset, and now they're looking to pull off another upset in the semifinals. 1-0, 12 minutes. The clock is their friend for the Toronto Orangemen. Every second, every minute that winds off this clock where they still maintain a 1-0 advantage is just a bonus. The Niagara Rebels have had a majority of the play, a majority of the scoring opportunities, and have also had 3 pretty dominant performances on the power play. But so far, nothing to show for it. Nothing on the scoreboard. Some good scoring opportunities, but Paul Zarnett, goaltender for the Toronto Orangemen, number 30, just hasn't let anything by him. He's been absolutely sensational. Sound in his play. He's not wild. He doesn't flail. Body takes away the angles, and so far has taken away every scoring chance for the Niagara Rebels. 12 minutes to go. I'm sure the Rebels are telling themselves that something's got to come, and you almost get the sense that it's going to. Satachi now, 91 for the Rebels, wins the draw. Back into the Rebel zone. 22, first on the scene. Looking for an outlet. Flips it out of the zone. Was trying to find Kuzmarski on the far side. But the Orangemen intercepted. Orangemen chip it now out of their zone. They'll probably be content to do that here in the third period. And that attempted dump in by the Niagara Rebels, just one of the players on the bench for the Orangemen. And I'm sure a lot of the Orangemen are looking up at that clock and saying, hey, 28 seconds. We are 28 seconds closer to the finals. We are 28 seconds closer to our share in an $11,000 prize pool up for grabs in the championship game. $14,000 in total. The 16 makes a move to his backhand. Unable to turn the corner, though, and get a shot on net. Orangemen again with the ball. Just throw it down to the Niagara Rebels defenseman, who sets up again behind his own net. That's a Barbas. Over to Matthew David. David looking for Satachi. That's bodies off the ball, but David's the first to retrieve it. Weighing his options now, David, and he decides to throw it back. Satachi was the first on that cycle. Rebels cycling the ball now, maintaining possession. David over to Kuzmarski. Kuzmarski plays it from foot to stick. Coming out of the corner now. Throws it behind the net. Ball nearly came back out in front, but Zarnett played the angle quite well. Puts his glove on that. Minute 25 now, gone in the third period. Toronto Orangemen clinging to a 1-0 lead. We've got Barbases everywhere here for the Niagara Rebels. We've got a forward line right now, Barbas, and Barbas. We got Joey Barbas, number 9 on the back end. There's Barbas to Barbas. Over to Barbas, who dumps it in for Barbas. Barbas turns the corner on his forehand, nearly was able to pull that back for a snapshot, but the ball just rolled off the tip of his blade. Now it's 27 Barbas down the middle. Tries to flip it to himself. That got picked out of midair. And once again, the Orangemen clear. The Rebels looking to make something happen with their feet. 58 trying to get the ball in. But 88 stood tall. Creeder. Now the Orangemen over to 68. He blows a tire. Still has the ball, though. That weak attempt at goal was intercepted by the Rebels, who who come down, showing some good speed and a nifty little play. There's a chance. Zarnett doesn't know where the ball is. Saved it with his glove. Back referee saw that one. And we've got a penalty coming up to the Toronto Orangemen. And the Orangemen trying to take somebody with them there. We'll try and see if we can give you a second look at that play. See exactly what happened there in front of the net. And let's take a look. It's 9 in front. There's a bit of a shot and then it's strong arm to the ground. That wasn't even a rugby tackle. That was more something out of WWE. And the back referee saw that one. And so another power play here. Their 4th of the game for the Niagara Rebels. Their power plays so far have been outstanding. Everything good except a goal. They maintained possession. They've generated some scoring opportunities. It hasn't all been around the perimeter. But so far, they just haven't been able to solve Paul Zarnett. Back and forth, and now they do. And it's Huckalow. Huckalow scores. And again, we'll see if we can give you a look at that. From my vantage point, it looked as though that shot wasn't even going on net. It looked as though Huckalow was firing it almost through the slot. And if I were a betting man, I would say that it went off the paddle, off the inside of the paddle of goaltender Zarnett, who actually ended up deflecting it into his own net. Let's take another look at it here. And we'll see it goes down to Huckalow here, back and forth, fires it across and in the back of the net. Again, I think that went off the goaltender's paddle. And the Niagara Rebels, once again, just find themselves offside as they had generated a 3-on-2 rush there. Troy Minor, the captain, leading that rush from his defense. Now the Rebels can taste it. You have to think that once they get one, they have to believe that it's just a matter of time before 1 becomes 2 and 2 becomes 3. The Orangemen are looking for another break of their own. They've had about 2 scoring chances thus far in the game, and they've scored on one of them, so maybe they're thinking that Lady Luck is on their side. Is another shot to once again reclaim that 1-goal lead. But it's the Rebels with the ball, and they're forcing. Orangemen take the ball off them. A little bit of jaw now between the players. Orangeman has the ball now. Up on his backhand. Players getting a little more determined. The game's getting a little more rough. Bit of a hip check thrown there. These players once again jawing at each other. Referee's blowing things down. Not exactly sure what the call is. It looks like they're going to give each team a penalty. So 4-on-4 ball hockey. And that's exactly the call. 2 minutes aside. So with 8:25 to go in the third period. 4 runners aside. 1-all's the score. If it's tied at the end of the third period, we will go to overtime, 5 minutes. If that doesn't determine a winner, then we go to a shootout. The first semifinal did go to overtime. It was the Midnight Express defeating Pittsburgh Gods off the stick of Matt Tremblatt. We've got Marcus Lagerstrom dumping it in. Very fast and speedy as Marcus. Obviously first to the ball. Throws it back to the point. That shot got stopped before it even made it to the net. Orangemen now with it. They regroup. Go D to D. Defenseman looking to his forwards. Trying to find a lane. Now he decides to use his legs and go it himself. 19 deflects it in for himself, but Troy Minor wins that race. And now Marcus looking to win another race of himself, and the ball just got caught up in the Orangeman defender's foot. As those two trade barbs. Here's a chance now for the Orangemen as they get in. Oh! And that shot by 19 just went wide. Not sure whether or not Compy got a piece of it, but now it's the Rebels away on a rush all their own. 2-on-2. And that shot gets blocked. Good defensive play by number 93 to take that shot away. And 93 still on the ball. Working hard. He's going octopus all over the Rebels. Ends up bringing the ball around, and then it's one of the Barbuses. Throws that into the mesh. It's a Joey Barbus. For the record, there are 5 Barbuses on the squad. I don't know whether they've all seen the floor at the same time yet in this game. We've got a few Barbuses out right now. We've got 3 of them in a huckalo. But it's the Orangemen, Creeder, with the ball. Backhand pass through the middle. He confidently put that tape to tape. The dump in, far side for 68. Huckalo dispossesses him and gets rid of the ball. The Rebels clear the zone, but the Orangemen are first on that. Here's a long shot. Just sails wide on the rebound, though. The Orangemen are first on it. Backhand chance just goes wide. Off the backboards again. Ball's still loose. 39 with it for the Orangemen. But now it's the Rebels away. 3 wide. Chip over to the far side. Rebels still on the ball. Try to work and give and go out of the corner. Just wasn't there. Now 22's got a shot. That gets steered aside by Zarnett. A lot of rough stuff in front there. Big body there in front of the net for the Orangemen. They're big bad defensemen just throwing bodies around, clearing the zone. That's Brian Creeder, 31. I'm assuming brother of number 88, Chris Creeder. 31-88, siblings. But it's 21, Terry Roach, to take the draw for the Orangemen, and he wins it. Both Creeders back for it. It's 88 that takes it. Now you got Kuzmarski. It's bodied off the ball. The bigger Creeder picks it up, throws it the length of the floor, just misses Compy, and so we'll reset. Halfway through this third period, where the Niagara Rebels have scored their only goal of the game to knot this at 1. We've got Sitachi to take the draw, looking to get it back to Kuzmarski. Kuzmarski, the left-hand shot, sets up for the one-timer. Roach plays it tough off the draw, gets the ball. Over to 97 now for the Orangemen. Creeder has it in his own zone. Up. And now to Roach. Finds himself in a decent position with the ball, but unable to do anything about it. Now it's Zarnett out to start the rush. Over to Creeder. Creeder looking for someone, finds no one. And so the Rebels quickly turn this back around. Matthew David in over the line. Shake Creeder, and does. But the pass to himself was a little too far. The Rebels get the ball back again. Little room here now for 22s, trying to work to the middle. Finds himself on the backhand. And the errant pass clears the zone for the Orangemen. But how quickly the Rebels are back on the attack. Kuzmarski now with it. 4 deep here for the Rebels as they're pressing. And that shot just gets deflected off of Creeder's stick into the mesh. And as you saw for that last 60 seconds, the play dominated by the Niagara Rebels. Yet the Orangemen stand tall and stand strong. Thanks in large part to the play of their goaltender, Paul Zarnett. He has seen more shots today than his counterpart, Aaron Campesano. Each have allowed 1 goal to get by them. To recap, the Toronto Orangemen scored in the second period in a bit of a strange play, a non-traditional play, let's say that, where the ball just kind of got scrambled around off the draw and then found itself right on the stick of one of the Orangemen, who spun, fired right on the floor, and I think caught Compy a little off guard and either caught the far side of the net or went under his pad 5 hole. And the Orangemen were able to hold on to that 1-0 lead for the duration of the second period and to begin the third period. But the Niagara Rebels were finally able to solve Paul Zarnett on their fourth power play. And that is what has brought us to this point. With 4:54 to go, we've got the Toronto Orangemen looking to score. Niagara Rebels trying to do the same. If they do, they'll go on to the finals where the winner will get $8,400. As we've got Alvo to take the draw for the Rebels. Back to the point now. Kuzmarski tries to just send one through the hole, but it hit the shaft of somebody's stick, ends up over the boards, and so we'll do it all again. Clean win on the draw there for Steve Alvo. We'll see if 22 for the Orangemen does anything differently. Does not. Loses it again to Kuzmarski. This time decides to pass to the slot instead of shoot himself. Same result, though. Ball gets deflected into the mesh, and we'll do it again for the third time. Now, usually after you've lost 2 draws clean in a row, you do something different. We'll see what 22 decides to do here to try and break the streak here for Steve Alvo. That's Paul Lena, number 22 with the beard for the Orangemen, as the referee is over talking to the wingers, making sure they know which side of the hash to stand on. And as you see, 22's trying to cheat just a little bit more there. There's a great opportunity for the Rebels. Ball still loose. That backhander goes wide. Golden scoring opportunity, not on one but 2 occasions, back-to-back for the Niagara Rebels, and nothing to show for it. As 74 spins out of the corner. Good wheels now as he gains the zone. Drop pass, but the Orangemen read that. 81 now. Goal scorer for the Orangemen. He's showing some good hustle, some good resolve. And 18's in there as well. Referee sees a hand pass on the floor. I guess 81 got his hand on it. He didn't think so, probably inadvertent. Right call, though, by the referee. Nobody seems to be complaining. 4:14 to go in the third. Nobody scores in the remaining 4 minutes and 14 seconds. We will go to a 5-minute sudden death overtime. That will be followed by a shootout. But still 4 minutes, 14 seconds to play. We'll see if the Rebels or the Orangemen can ice this thing in regulation. 19's thinking about it. He had a little bit of room to shoot. Instead, put the ball down on the ground. Tried to make something happen with his legs and his stick. Still trying to do the same. But Huckalo gets to the ball behind the net. And the Rebels throw it the length of the floor. No icing, though. Chris Creeder back to get it. He works the wall to a wide open winger. 39 chips it ahead, and the Orangemen are showing a little more form here late in the third period than they have almost the entire game. Here's a chance now for the Orangemen as a little mix-up between the goaltender and his defenseman. Ended up with the ball in the air and falling down into the crease. Calmly, though, played to the corner by the defense of the Rebels, who are on their heels now. The Orangemen are pressing just a little bit. And just as I say that, the Rebels begin a rush of their own. It's 27, spinning, trying to find some help. The Orangemen dispossess them. Up the wall to 19. 19 having no luck getting by Evan Huckalo there to try and make something happen for himself. 16 just bats that the length of the floor with his hand. No icing as he was on the correct side of the blue line. Under 3 minutes to go now. 1-1 tie, semifinal, 2016 Bauer clash with the Titans. Both these teams in the money. The loser of this semifinal will win $1,400. The winner will move on to play the Midnight Express about an hour from now, where in that one will be more than $11,000 up for grabs, including $8,400 to the champion. So playing for lots more than a t-shirt here this weekend at the Ballhockey.com Athletic Center. 2:43 to go, face-off. Deep in the Rebel zone. We got Roach taking the draw, 21 for the Orangemen. Wins it to 92. He fans on his shot, and the Rebels take that away. It's Matthew David trying to make something happen. That gets taken away. Satachi now with 2 Orangemen on it. The Orangemen take the ball away. They throw it through the slot. The Orangemen are able to keep it in the zone. That attempt at net was batted down by Satachi. He's finding some open space in the middle. Finds David on the wing, gains the zone, Throws it down low for Sitachi and a bit of a give and go. He has the ball now, but Creeder's over there playing the man. He's a pretty big body. There's a hard shot. Zarnett got enough on that to keep it out of the net. Under 2 minutes to go now in the third period. As the Orangemen are leading an attack, they gain the zone. 97 wondering what to do with it. Throws it down low where his teammates waiting behind the net. Here's a chance of the Orangemen. Here's a chance of the Orangemen. Moving left and right, wondering where he should go. Tries the backhand, throws it out. That shot just goes wide. 93 at the point. Wines, fires. Cumpy has it. Rebound. Just batted wide. And the Rebels throw that into the mesh. Dangerous, dangerous game here for the Niagara Rebels. I'm sure they believe that they should win this game, but all it takes is one bounce, one defensive lapse, and the Toronto Orangemen could find themselves punching a ticket to the finals this afternoon. The Niagara Rebels want that spot. We know they want that spot. And they've got 1:34 here to claim that spot in regulation. If not, we're going to a 5-minute overtime. Under center now. Rebels win the draw. Clear the zone. Zarnett out to play the ball. We've got Rebels now. Almost with control of it behind their zone, but the ball just bounced over their stick, and the Orangemen throw it the length of the floor. 19 in there on the forecheck, trying to take the ball away from 22. It's the Rebels slowing things down, regrouping behind his own net. Now coming out the far side, 22, trying to lead it by himself. He gets the ball back, flips it to himself, does 22. 1 minute to go in the third period. Rebels throw something towards the net. That was dangerous as that ball was bouncing and bounding on its way through, but Zarnett kicked it out with the left pad. Now here's a pass to a man in the slot. Defender falls down. 83 winds, fires. Referee indicating that that draw is coming outside. I think it hit the crossbar. Didn't see it, but heard it. And the fact that the referee is motioning for that draw to come outside the zone means that Zarnett was beat clean on that. But they just couldn't beat the post. Another great scoring chance for the Niagara Rebels. But right now it looks like it's next goal wins. Zarnett trying to draw the referee's attention. And he has, not exactly sure what's going on, if it's a wet spot in front of the crease. Referee's over there checking things out. Don't appear to find much. All right, 41 and a half seconds to go. 1-1. Niagara Rebels in black, Toronto Orangemen in orange. Orangemen win the draw, but they win it right back to the Niagara Rebels defense. 88 trying to turn the corner. Does. Now the Orangemen are away. 81's got the ball, goes rink wide for his teammate, but the Rebels turn that over. Now it's 92 with the ball. His shot is blocked by a Barbas, who decks 92 into the glass. Number 9 is... We'll see if we can get you a replay here with the all-glass boards here at the Ballhockey.com Athletic Center. You could really see his face get smushed into the glass on that one. All right, we'll get to a replay here. You'll see 92, that shot's blocked. And he works backwards and a shot clearly from behind, clearly in a dangerous position, about a foot or two away from the boards, and it drove the player's head right into the glass. No real complaining there for the Niagara Rebels, and this is going to be the first power play for the Toronto Orangemen. The Rebels 1 for 4 on their man advantages. The Toronto Orangemen, this will be their first opportunity of 5-on-4 hockey. It really doesn't matter that there's 16.6 seconds left in this game. It's a 2-minute man advantage that will carry over into the overtime. And at this point, with 16 seconds left, I think we all agree that it's next goal wins in an overtime. So Orangemen just looking to do something here with the man advantage to sneak one by Cumpy and get into that all-important final this afternoon. Just a bit of a conference here over on the near boards. Brian Broly talking to the referees. Not exactly sure what that discussion could be about. I think everything's straightforward and ready to go. It is. So just 16 seconds to go here. Wonder if Niagara Rebels will try and get a rabbit going if they win this draw, i.e. somebody sprinting down the length of the floor to get a scoring chance with 16 seconds to go. They do win the draw. They do get a rabbit going. And he's the first to the ball. 10 seconds to go now. Niagara Rebels looking to shake and bake his way out of the corner. Rebels got that. 19 now. Thinking about shooting. He does. Easily handled by Cumpy. Steered to the side. And for the second time in 2 semifinals, we are going to overtime. Well, that's how competitive it is, and it has been all weekend long at the 2016 Bauer Clash of the Titans, presented by Ballhockey.com. 14 teams began. We had almost all one-goal games of the quarterfinals this morning. The first semifinal went to overtime. Took just over a minute for the Midnight Express to defeat the Pittsburgh Gods. Gods go home with $1,400. Midnight Express, they will play the winner of this game. 5 minutes to settle things. And remember, the Toronto Orangemen are going to begin with a, well, quick math, minute 44 of a power play. 5, the advantage has definitely gone to the Niagara Rebels. This is the first time we'll see the Orangemen power play in this game, and we'll see if they can do anything with it. They do have some players who are elite. They do have some players that can score at this level. And we'll see if the man advantage and the extra bit of floor space provides them the opportunity that they need. Don't know whether they're going to try and run the power play out of the corner, whether they're working umbrella, whether it's slap shots or something from behind the net. Have in store here, but they were definitely concocting a plan over on the far side. Looks like they got the skill and hands unit out. They're up against 4 for the Niagara Rebels. Expect the 4 on the floor for the Rebels to be falling in front of shots. And here we go. Overtime underway. The Rebels throw that ball deep. It's Chris Creeder coming out, 88 for the Orangemen. Leading the rush, coach calling for him to shoot, and so he does, and he scores! And just like that, the Toronto Orangemen are going to the final. The Orangemen stunning as Cumpy breaks his stick over the crossbar. Anything can happen in ball hockey, and it was Chris Creeder, with the Niagara Rebels marking the other 4 men, allowing him to shoot from the red line, and somehow beats Cumpy from distance. That's a long way out for a championship goal, and we'll see another look at it here. You'll see Creeder here. He winds up almost right at the red line and looks to beat him just inside the far post, and that's all she wrote. They didn't even get a chance to set up the power. Seconds in, and the Toronto Orangemen have won the second of 2 semifinals. That final will be Toronto Orangemen v. Midnight Express. The winner, $8,400. Second place, $2,800. More than $11,000 in prize money on the line in our next game. The finals of the 2016 Bauer Clash of the Titans, presented by Ballhockey.com, coming up probably within the hour. It was scheduled for an hour from now. However, they do have the courtesy of asking the Toronto Orangemen whether or not they want to wait an hour, half an hour, 45 minutes. Stay tuned to Ballhockey.com, and we will keep you informed. But that game will be coming up live shortly.